Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. The new musical Finding Neverland, which follows the relationship between playwright J.M. Barrie and the family that inspired Peter Pan, will open on Broadway April 15th at the Lunt-Fontanne Theatre under the direction of Tony Award-winner Diane Paulus. And we are here in the rehearsal studio to bring you a sneak peek and meet the company led by Matthew Morrison, Kelsey Grammer, Laura Michelle Kelly, and Carolee Carmelo. Enjoy.
When you don't tell me what you see.
Two things that my kids agree on, 4, 12, 16, and 20-year-old girls. And I do have a boy, however, he's disagreeable. But the girls agree on the fact that Dad is a nerd, Dad is annoying, Dad is uncool when it comes to music, Dad is the best Uber, and the only movie that Dad ever made that they loved unanimously was Finding Neverland. So with a choice like that, you know, this was the show that I wanted to put my own personal stamp on and, you know, and produce with an incredible team of people.
All right, you're back in the New York studio. You're bringing it to Broadway. How do you feel?
I am so excited about this moment for this production. This has meant so much to me, the show. It's such an emotional story, and to be at this moment of bringing this to Broadway, this opportunity to work with this cast, now led by Matthew and Kelsey, to craft this beautiful show so carefully into this big giant gift that I want to give to our audience. It's really an exciting moment for me.
And also collaborating with Mia Michaels, who's making her Broadway debut. She is over the moon about coming to Broadway and working with you, this whole experience, what it's been like working with her.
Yeah, you know, I always look for artists who I feel need to be in the theater. You know, like, what are you doing over there? Come into the theater. And she was one of them. I mean, she's a genius. We've seen her stunning work on television. And this experience of bringing her into the theater, bringing her to Broadway, and showing her what she can do through storytelling. And the funny thing is, she said to me, Diane, I'm not interested in steps. I'm interested in story and emotion. And I was like, all right, we're gonna get along. She's been great. And this opportunity to go from ART and have that incubator with her, and now to go back in the studio with her, has been off the charts great.
You know, this is a musical for kids, it's a musical for adults. I mean, talk about the message this musical has for an audience.
For me, this show is about the human spirit and resilience. You know, this is a show about when you feel knocked down, whether you're 8 years old, or you're in your 40s, or you're in your 80s, how do you pick yourself up and find yourself alive in a way you never thought was possible again? And we all hit those moments in our lives, and this show does it through the beauty of art and imagination and fantasy. And for me, that's the power of theater. There's a meta message in the show, you know, it's about life and life's journey, but it's about actually how theater and art can help you and help all of us. So that's why I love it.
Welcome to Broadway. How do you feel?
I feel like this. It's a long time waiting that I've been wanting to do Broadway, and it's happening, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of this project. It's everything I've ever dreamed of, and I don't want to ever do anything but theater after this. I'm so obsessed with it. It's so amazing. I'm so in love. I'm in love with the community. I'm in love with the project. I'm in love with my director, my entire creative team. I'm in love with my dancers and my actors. It's the first time in a long time that I feel like I have a family again, and it's amazing.
Using the word, this has really been magical working on this production, hasn't it?
It really has. It's been the hardest thing I've ever done in my career, and the most, even now, we haven't even opened yet, and it's so rewarding, and the payback of just the support and the love, and people are just ready for it, and and Diane and I, we're just like jumping, and we're just trusting, and we're going with our instincts, and we're going with what is right for Neverland, which is sometimes scary because it's not traditional, which is, I love that.
Welcome to Broadway. How does it feel?
I'm having the best time. I'm having such a good time. I'm a serious political playwright from London. I thought I was going to be a fish out of water here, but I'm having the best time with this amazing team, and we have such a fun cast. I'm really loving it. It's great.
Everybody who has worked on this said this is unlike anything they've done. Is it because of Diane Paulus?
Almost 100%, yeah. I mean, you know, we have some amazing characters with amazing talent. Harvey Weinstein is obviously really incredible to work with. But Diane Paulus's vision for what this show should be has been, you know, brilliantly challenging. So she's always pushed us to work really, really hard to up our game, which I hope we've all done. But yeah, I think it's this incredible combination of a show that's both hopefully really funny and entertaining, and its humour and its magic and its tricks, but then hopefully very moving. It's a story about this poor kid who's trying to unlock himself and play again, and this playwright, which I associate with, trying to find his voice and himself. And it's a show actually that I think talks about really important things about family and about grief and about identity and all those things, but still hopefully leaving you sort of singing and bouncing out the theatre at the end of it.
You've done such a beautiful job with the book.
Thank you.
What unlocked it for you? Was there something specifically you said, I'm on the right track?
Oh God, well we all sort of came, as a collaborative team, we all came on board at the same time, so we all went on this journey. But I think really for me it was getting inside the head of our two main characters, this little boy who stopped playing, and actually I was quite a serious kid, so I associated with this little kid who sort of locked himself down and really struggled to engage with the world, and then of course a playwright with all these expectations on him in our character J.M. Barrie. So it was those character journeys really that made sense of it for me.
Talk about collaborating with Gary, what this whole collaboration has meant to you working on a Broadway musical.
Well, Gary and I have written together for 20 odd years, and we're like more like brothers. We finish each other's sentences. We work in a quite unusual way that quite often we work apart. So we just talk over the phone, throw ideas to each other. So we decided from the outset with Diane and Harvey that look, we're pop songwriters. We're just going to keep doing that, and hopefully it'll work. And that's what Diane was inspired by. And then, of course, when it got to the nitty-gritty of getting the lyrics right with the story, that's the bit that I've thoroughly enjoyed. It's been a real challenge for me as a lyricist, but we've just constantly tried to maintain sort of our pop sensibility about this. And that's what's been the most fun. You know.
What unlocked it for you? Was it something specific? Your score is stunning to this. It's so beautiful. Was there something that said, we're on the right track?
It was very nice of you to say, and I appreciate that. We started with 2 songs. We were originally, the first thing was, can we write 2 songs for our musical? We wrote the Love Duet first, and we wrote Neverland, which is the main theme song. And it was simply because we were inspired by the story. We've both got kids, Gary and I. So it's one of those things that somehow it gets into your DNA, Peter Pan. Somehow it's in everybody's DNA. So when you talk to your kids, it's like, how did I know this story? I can't remember being taught this story, but I'm teaching my kids this story. So now as an adult, to spend this time away from home and then take my kids to see the show and say, this is why Dad's been away, it all makes perfect sense, because it's one of those stories that just, it feels so natural to be a part of and be able to sort of add your own personal experience to. It's one of the most beautiful stories in the world.
Children like to be scared. They just don't know it yet.
Well, welcome back to Broadway. How does it feel?
It feels great. I love it here.
And being back in the rehearsal room, what that means to you?
Well, I'm one of those funny actors who sort of goes like, yeah, rehearsal, schmersal. I'm not the one that says, oh my God, rehearsal is my favorite time in a production. It's not. It's just, it's hard, and and I have to get back in shape, and I'm singing more than I want to sing, but I'm getting in shape. So that's what it is. It's like, you got to go to the gym. Once you know where you're supposed to go, then you get that audience, and that's when it starts to take. That's the place I like to be, in front, and to learn to love the kiss of eyes, and the approbation, or what's the word? Sting of the audience. Either one is what you do it for, and they're out there, and I think they're going to love it.
Well, today must have been fun for you doing it in front of an audience.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know. They teach you. They always teach you where the truth is. And that's what's great about it.
Talk about these two roles that you play.
Well, Charles Frohman is the producer, who is from history. He had a relationship with J.M. Barrie, produced most of his plays, all of his plays, and until when Charles passed. But he had a theater on 38th Street. He was a powerhouse. He brought shows over from London, Conan Doyle, Oscar Wilde, Bernard Shaw. I mean, he did a ton of stuff. And this relationship with J.M. Barrie obviously was a part of his life that was important. They did this thing together, and he invested everything he had in it. Got people to, he registered patents. He had all the actors sign non-disclosure agreements. He was focused on this thing, and they created some stuff that was revolutionary, never been done before, and it was a success. And what's nice about this character, he morphs because of their creative relationship into this inner voice for J.M. Barrie that comes from him, but is this fire, the fire in the belly, the guy that says, get out and kill, just go, you have to go now, because you can't do this anymore.
How excited are you to be coming to Broadway and Finding Neverland?
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. It's so exciting, and it's so unique in its own way, so that it's not just going to Broadway, it's being in Finding Neverland. And I think I'm not just excited to be on Broadway, I'm excited to be in Finding Neverland, and Broadway is the best place for this production to go to everybody.
Absolutely. It's a story that everyone should know. And it's a story about life, and it's a story about loss, and it's a story about love. And it's something that this show really brings a message that I don't think Broadway's ever seen before. And it's a great platform to spread our story, and I'm just so excited. It's going to be so much fun, and I think we're all really looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. And you're not just coming to Broadway to perform and go off. You're coming to Broadway to make friends for life, and Finding Neverland is definitely the show to see.
Not only are we starting a Broadway show, we're starting a new Broadway show that has never been done before on a Broadway stage. It's a completely new thing, even different from what we did in Boston. It's new and it's exciting, and everything is changing, and everything's just amazing.
Talk about this role that you're taking on.
Oh, so I get to play Mary Barrie. I am J.M. Barrie's wife. She's fun in her very pulled up proper way. She's kind of like the epitome of a socialite in Edwardian London. Like, she's trying to be the belle of the ball at everything. And she was an actress, and she met James doing one of his plays, and she quit acting and wanted to become basically a lady of London. And so she's sort of the one helping to stifle and repress James, which then leads him to break out and make this beautiful play. So I'm kind of, I'm a little bit of a bad guy, a little bit. But that's fun.
And working on a brand new musical, what it means to you.
No, well, it's a dream. I mean, that's, it's just wonderful to be able to feel like you're having little gems and creating characters and getting to talk with James, our writer, and discover stuff with Diane and Mia and the staging, and it's really fulfilling. I feel like that's when the creative juices you're really, really going, because you're like, well, it's kind of a clean slate. We can kind of paint it however we want.
So happy to be here and be part of this. This is kind of an amazing project, right? I mean, I have been involved with lots of new musicals, but this one feels like something really special. There's a number in the show about something about this night, which is the opening night of Peter Pan, and it's sort of the kind of tingle that you get before a show that you know is going to be something really special, and that's what this kind of feels like.
It felt that way at ART, and it felt that way today in this rehearsal room. I mean, just the energy in this room, the creative energy is amazing.
Yeah, Diane Paulus is kind of brilliant. I mean, not kind of brilliant. She is very brilliant. So, and I've wanted to work with her for a really long time. So it's sort of a dream come true to be involved with her and these great writers who I didn't really know, but they're so wonderful. I mean, the music is, it's sort of pop, but it's got a real kind of lushness to it, and it's a real bridge between pop and Broadway, I think. I love the sound of it.
And talk about the woman you play.
I'm a grandma!
You're very glamorous. I mean, you're very that Victorian grandma, beautifully costumed too. Talk about the woman that you play.
Okay, I play Madame du Maurier, who is the mother of Sylvia Llewellyn-Davies, and she's very, very stern and disapproving of this relationship that Sylvia has with J.M. Barrie. But she has a beautiful arc, and I love her story, and I love the way she softens as the play goes on and comes to embrace the children in a way that she wasn't able to in the beginning. It's really a sweet story about her coming around and maybe a little too late for her daughter, but in time for her grandchildren.
Tell me what this has been like revisiting this show all over again.
It's been just as fun. It's almost a little eerie how peaceful it is. But that's also the world that Diane creates. You can really explore so many different places when there's not like a ticking clock on you. We've had a real good time in Boston. We've nurtured it. We've given birth to this story, and now it's grown, and it's grown exponentially. There's so many new things in the show, and that's why you do out-of-town tryouts, so that when they come to, we did it with Mary Poppins, we did it with, I've done it with a lot of other shows, and that so that when you bring it into town, it's exceptional, not just good enough. I'm excited that it blows me away. Sometimes I go away, I have a break, I come back, and there's something even more extraordinary being rehearsed. So.
Talk about this beautiful woman that you play in this show.
I play a widow of 4 boys. When we meet her, she's in a difficult place. That's when she meets J.M. Barrie. She's obviously grieving the loss of her husband and the father of her children. But the second she meets James, some sparks happen and she comes alive again. There's hope. I mean, the lyrics that Elliot Kennedy and Gary Barlow wrote are filled with inspiration, filled with hope. And I think that's a story that everyone wants to see. And also we inspired the stories for James to write Peter Pan.
I'm elated. I'm home. It feels so great. I knew at the end of the Glee, I knew I wanted to be back in a Broadway show. And it just was the question of which one. I was kind of working on an idea for a revival that I'm not going to say because I hopefully will do it eventually someday. But I got the call from Harvey Weinstein, and he's really good at pitching shows. And so I did the workshop last March, and it was a phenomenal experience and something that was so challenging for me to play this part. And I was game. I was game for it, and I was really excited.
What attracted you to Barrie?
He's got such an amazing arc. He comes from this place where he is just tortured. He's kind of in a writer's block and bringing out the same old stuff that he's kind of been writing for years. And then he meets this family, and they really kind of bring him out of that place and take him out of his tragic life and instill the child back into him. So it's a beautiful journey in this story, and I think the main thing is the music. I love the music to the show, and I don't want people to think like it's Peter Pan is going to be like early 1900 like stuffy kind of show. It takes this proprietous world and blends this amazing pop score, and it's so fresh and inventive and new and exciting.
Because of the Glee audience, your millions of fans, people will be coming to a Broadway show for the very first time to see you, and it'll probably change them forever of seeing theater. What does that mean to you?
Well, when you put it like that.
Because we all had those stories of seeing somebody we knew from another medium that changed it for me.
Absolutely. I mean, what an incredible position to be in that position. I'm so excited. I feel like Glee has really changed theater as we know it, because I think it's theater is in a place where it's thriving more than it ever has before. And I think when Glee started, it wasn't bad or anything, but it was in a steady place. But I think Glee really helped theater and the arts in general. And for someone to know me from Glee and see me on the Broadway stage is exciting, because I think they'll see the craft of acting as well, because I'm not playing Mr. Schuster anymore. I'm playing someone totally different with a Scottish accent, so it's something completely new and fresh, and for this to be the musical that they see it in, I think it's going to be pretty exciting.